In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the dark side and the hard truths about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is something that we all want to be nowadays. It is almost like the cool thing, like what everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be their own boss nowadays, but it comes with a lot of challenges, especially in Africa. If you've not subscribed to the channel already, kindly do so. It helps a lot. Thank you. As an entrepreneur, you get no benefits, you get no guaranteed paychecks. You are your own, and it's a scary thing and a very scary place to be. And most people just don't have the mental capacity to take on that challenge. To be honest with you, everybody can do this, but it's not for the faint-hearted. As an entrepreneur, all the benefits that an employee will get, you do not get that. And there is no guarantee that you're going to succeed. So you sign up for something that is so difficult and you do not know the outcome. But there is a lot of fulfillment in it, and you should have passion for what you want to pursue as an entrepreneur, because it is very hard. It is very, very, very hard. As Steve Jobs said,
you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time.
So let's dive into some of the challenges that I face as an entrepreneur in Ghana. As an entrepreneur in Ghana, access to capital is so hard. So everything that I'm doing is coming out of my pocket, or it hasn't gotten there yet, but I have to look outside for people who know me and, people that I have some sort of reputation with to get money from them, because just to get loans in Africa is almost impossible, or the interest rate on the loan is way too high that it does not make sense for a business person to do it. It's been 3 years now since I received the paycheck, right? And when things are not going well for you, it could be really crazy, because you are all you got. There is no health benefits on your end. Everything is on you, and it comes with a lot of pressure. So doing business in Africa is very hard. There are plenty of opportunities, but access to capital is so hard. And on top of it, our own people, right? In my situation, my own people don't want you to succeed. You have people who are extremely selfish, and they're in there to sabotage you, to try to steal money from you. They will try a whole bunch of tricks just to get you to give them money. And if you don't, you end up in a situation I ended up in. Somebody placed an injunction on a car wash that I've spent huge sums of money on. I was just about to get cash flow, and that person was bothering me this whole time trying to get money. It didn't work, and they took me to court, and now I cannot work. So that's a huge challenge, right? So let's say that's the only thing I was doing, and I put a lot of money in this, right? And I'm out of money. It is a very scary place to be. Entrepreneurship is very rewarding if you win. Luckily, I have other stuff going on that is kind of like balancing out the challenges that I'm facing. So as an entrepreneur, you should always be calculating all the risk involved. And when you're investing in stuff as an entrepreneur, you should be looking at the potential, right? It takes the same amount of effort to make huge sums of money and small sums of money. So you might as well aim big, right? Because this thing is hard. Whether it's small, whether it's big, it's very hard. So aim big, and you will be rewarded accordingly. As an entrepreneur, you are hiring people. Those people have families that you are taking care of. And that's one, if you care about people like me, that's something that will bother you a lot when things are not going well. But people are looking at you. You're almost like a father figure. In this case, people are looking at you to pay them, right? So they can take care of their families. And if you can do that, it can have a ripple effect and affect a lot of people, more than yourself. And it comes with a lot of pressure. So you could look at it as a father with, like, if you have 40 employees, 40 kids, does that sound like it's easy? It is very stressful. And you have to constantly perform. I always say entrepreneurship is kind of like the shortcut to personal development. You cannot be a lazy entrepreneur and succeed. Nobody is there to wake you up to go and work, right? You on your own. You have to know everything. You have to do your own accounting. You have to pay your own taxes. As an employee, right, you don't have to think about any of that. It's predictable how much you're going to get paid for every month. You know it. You have the benefits, and you don't even pay your taxes yourself. It gets deducted automatically. The entrepreneur must budget and put the tax money aside, because if you don't, you are in big trouble, and that could be a problem. So I actually have had some crazy experiences with a taxman, trading stocks and making a lot of money and losing it, right? And now you got to go pay the taxman. It's crazy. So entrepreneurship comes with a lot of stress, but the rewards are there, right? Your payout's really huge. You have the freedom that an employee could only dream of. I wake up whenever I want. I go to sleep whenever I want. I'm not a lazy person, but I do whatever I want. I have that personal sovereignty. I do stuff that I don't like all the time, like working out, running on the treadmill. I hate it. but I love to be in shape, so I will do it. But like working with people that I don't like to deal with, like in the corporate environment, in the office and all that crap, I don't have to deal with it anymore. On the bright side, that's what you get, and that's what making a lot of money is all about, right? So you can have freedom. It's not about driving the biggest Lamborghini or the fastest whatever. It's not about that. I mean, you can have that, but that's not going to make you happy. It's buying your time back, owning your life. That's where the happiness is. And entrepreneurship gives you that. It is bloody hard to succeed as an entrepreneur. So there is something known as asymmetrical risk reward, right? So that means the risk that you're taking as an entrepreneur, that's what I mentioned earlier, that you should aim big, right? Your payout should be huge. If you don't see the potential of it blowing up, I don't think it's worth it. Just get yourself a job and you'll be okay because it's predictable. So if you're gonna take that risk, entrepreneurship is taking that risk, and you have to be passionate about it, because if you're not, as you heard Steve Jobs, you're gonna give up, you're gonna quit. And it is not a sprint, it is a marathon, entrepreneurship, right? Some people work on something for 60 years and don't see any results, and then finally they blow up, and that's it. That changes their life. So imagine doing something for 6 years that you hate or you don't like or you're not passionate about, and not having a lot of money coming in. So some people be like entrepreneurship part-time and then work a job to kind of, so they have something to eat, because it's really difficult. Sometimes you're not going to make money for a very long time. According to Maslow's hierarchy, right, human beings, we care about survival, what we're going to eat, where we're going to sleep, and all that, being loved and all that, before self-actualization and all that. So human beings become really desperate when what you're going to eat becomes a problem, and that will lead you to make a lot of stupid decisions. So I always advise people, and that's the route that I took. I had a job and I set myself up before I left, and things can go south, but you can prepare. So I advise people, if you want to take on the entrepreneurship journey, try to start something on the side while you have your secure job, so you can think clearly. The money side is set, is secure, right? You got this amount of money coming. You're going to have to work maybe a little bit more, right? If you put in 40, 50 hours in at your job, you still have a lot of time. Still have 20 hours a week, 20 hours, 30 hours a week, depending on your work ethic, to do what you want to do on the side, right? I know many people who start a YouTube channel on the side and they finally blew up and they quit their jobs, or they were trading stocks on the side, in my situation, and then they blew up and then they quit their jobs, or doing photography over the weekend. Whole bunch of stuff that you can do while you maintain your job. You maintain your job and you build your clientele, you build that cash flow, you build that revenue, you build that brand, right, to a point where you feel okay to leave. Some people can go cold turkey and go and strap it up and do it. And that comes with a lot of stress. You got to be a different breed for that. It's not for everybody, but I personally believe that everybody can start something on the side and make it successful if you're a serious person, because nobody's going to tell you what to do. So you have to be self-disciplined. The fulfillment that you get from entrepreneurship is unbelievable. You could hate your job, but so long as you have something on the side that makes you happy, trust me, it will balance out. So that's a problem that, I find nowadays, that most people hate their jobs, they're unhappy, and they're not doing anything on the side, right? My wife was braiding hair on the side for almost 3 years before she finally quit teaching. She loved teaching, but then, was a lot of politics, and then she started hating at some point. But she sucked it up while she was braiding on the side, and it got to a point where she was making twice as much, braiding hair than she was, making in teaching. So it didn't make sense to be there anymore, So she quit and she went full-time doing hair, and she did that for a very long time. I know many people who started a side gig myself, right? I was trading, and then I was making way more than I was making working for KPMG, and I left. So personally, I feel like that's the easiest way to go about it. You know what I mean? Especially if you have kids and all that, you can't just leave them like that, But if you're young, 20, and you want to go at it, I mean, you have nothing to lose. Live in your parents' crib, you can get something to eat. Yeah, you should definitely go all in, because it takes energy and focus, right? Starting something in entrepreneurship takes a lot of energy and focus. And go to your job and not have any of that, and they're going to pay you regardless. Entrepreneurship, what you put in, your input is your output, right? If you don't get paid, you do not eat. You don't work, you don't get paid. It's that simple. It's that simple. There are no shortcuts in entrepreneurship. It's a real world, and it's brutal out there. There are people, not just in Africa, there are people abroad. You have your competitors, you have people trying to sabotage you. There's a whole bunch of stuff, right? Employees trying to steal from you, crazy. So in a nutshell, entrepreneurship is hard, but everybody can do it so long as they know what it takes and they are disciplined enough to stay the course and and have a passion for what they are doing. They are going to succeed. It's for everybody, but it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for lazy people. You have to be self-disciplined and go at it. You can be smart about it, and you do not have to take on all the risk. You could do it part-time until you see that there's a market for it, right? If you've not subscribed to the channel already, can you do so? Like this video as it helps with the algorithm. Comment, let me know what you think. And until next time, my friends, the legendary. Peace.